Hello, explorers.
I don't know where I'm looking.
We're over here.
Oh boy, it's gonna be tricky.
It's tricky.
Dave
tricky,
has like a
tricky.
camera, and then the computer's here, so I'll just look at my phone at the chat.
That's okay. I'm totally
Hi,
confused.
Theo, Monorail Steve, Chris S, Stevie Lee. Thank you for gifting 5 FP travel memberships.
5.
5. Andy, welcome in.
Hold on a second. We gotta run that. Stevie.
All right, awesome. Stream Element Spot. Aaron. Trish.
What's up, everybody? So, let's see. Yeah, she did have a rough day of shopping. She killed it earlier, everybody. And thank you for coming in and supporting Jen earlier today. What is going on with our screen? Why is our screen all screwed up?
I don't know, what do you mean?
It's all messed up. It's not at the top.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There's things happening. Dave's experimenting. We should
No,
have
I'm
gone.
not. I don't know.
Hello,
there
Kathleen.
we go. I'm good.
Yes.
We're good. All right. So.
We're travelers on this channel, I think, instead of explorers.
No, they're exploring travel. Let's explore travel, right?
But they'll be travelers like they have explorers. You can't. Okay, Fred, I'm totally kidding.
You're going to confuse everybody. Are you different? Are you a traveler, Jen, now?
Not on this channel. I'm always explored.
I'm always going to be... I'm the traveling Wilburys,
You're
except
the
I'll be
bear
the
shark.
I'll be the traveling bear sharks. So anyway, welcome in everybody. Go do it.
In a second.
Jen's gonna knock over our setup.
No.
Here we go. So anyway, welcome in everybody. Out to dinner with husband. He is watching hockey, which means I should go watch hockey. If the Rangers were on, I wouldn't be here. So anyway, YouTube, yes. Theo, you just have to know when we're on. So welcome into Florida Park Explorers Travel. This will be a weekly show that we're going to be doing to discuss travel tips, tricks, things like that. But tonight we're doing it a little bit differently. Happy Saturday to you as well, JT. One of the things that we wanted to do was we get a lot of questions like, why did you guys do this? So we want to kind of introduce the travel aspect. We're also going to be bringing Jordan in a little while, who's going to talk with us about some cruising things and such. We'll also be discussing, once Jordan comes on, we're going to be talking about FPE meetups, everybody. New member alert. We got a new member alert. There's Tyler coming in. Tyler, strong as death. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome, new member. We got a new member banner alert that we're going to pop up right now. And thank you, Tyler. Welcome in, guys. So welcome into all of our members. Welcome into everybody who supports this. Our membership program's a little screwed up here. We are going to fix it. It's something that we are working on. But what's up, Stevie Lee? Thank you for the 5 gifted members. We appreciate that, Monorail Steve, as always. Kate, Tyler, Jordan, Frank F, Running Warrior, Sarah, Elaine, look, so good to see you. Aaron, JC, JT, JG, GW. No, I'm just kidding. So welcome in, everybody. It is really good to have everybody here. So we're also going to be announcing the FPE meetups for the next year and a half. This way you have ample time to plan them. We kind of rushed through the last one. Why? Because there was a lot of feedback that people wanted to do it. I think it just didn't go well. The meetup was fun, but the timing and everything was just not right. So the first question that we always get, and by the way, we're going to be running chat polls tonight. I hope you can do that on there, right?
Yeah, I can.
Good. Because Jen's going to actually drop them in the chat as we're asking questions. We want live feedback from you guys. That's going to be the cool part about this show, is whether or not we can, do live feedback. It's not going to let me switch over, is it? No, it hates me.
What's the matter?
There's a logo under that picture, and it won't Till Jordan comes in, I can't move it.
Oh,
Anyway,
Steve and his setups.
I always will take suggestions, Kate. So here's the thing. The number one question we got, why did you guys become travel agents? We became travel agents for a couple of reasons. The first one was we have been working with travel agents for years and years as advertisers. And we started to notice that our clients started to give us feedback that they weren't being necessarily serviced, or there was no follow through. There was a lot of things that fell on the travel agent, but a lot of it also fell on the person. What do I mean by that? Because that sounds horrible. What it means is they didn't have a connection with that person, and they weren't comfortable just reaching out to them. So what we wound up hearing and figuring out was just that.
I think the membership thing's fixed. I think I fixed it. I'm just sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I don't know what you're talking about. So we kind of decided after getting feedback that through concierge that people were not being serviced, and that means that either someone wasn't calling you back, you weren't comfortable with them, any one of those things. Those are all bad things. That means that you're left on your own. So when we started doing concierge, one of the things that Jen and I talked about was making sure that we did become travel agents so that we could follow this through and we could take you guys all the way from, hey, I want to go on vacation, to that was the most magical trip ever. So that's where the whole genesis kind of came from. So, that's for everybody who's asked that question. I hope I've answered it, to the best that I can. Now, obviously, we're new agents. We already have, I guess you are going to have to grab that plug. I'm sorry, at some point. We already have, there are 6 clients that have reached out from this chat, and we've had 2 additional people reach out to us, and all of the FPE meetups that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be busy, and that's a good thing. We want you guys to be able to come in. The email is sitting right, I got it right for the first time ever.
There you go.
Down there,
Good job.
FPENtravel@gmail.com. So until we get the website set up and everything else done, like right now, there are hints of it on the website. If you go over to floridaparkexplorers.com, you will see that there is actually mentions of the travel. So we are doing it. Can you blow up a picture? You and Jen, tad bigger. You guys look smaller in the background. Yeah, well, it's because I have a screen designed for Jordan, because Jordan will be joining us in just a few minutes. So he will be joining us, because if not, we would be about that big. Whoa! So when Jordan comes in, we are going to switch back over to that view. But I also wanted to keep the email on screen so that you guys had an idea as to what we were doing. So, we just finished doing the Wish. We are getting ready to go on the Magic in about 3 weeks. The way that all worked out was, frankly, we took our 30% from Disney, a little bit of extra Disney magic, and we made it work. Thank you, Stevie. This was the only shirt I was able to get off the Wish because, well, that's all they had. I wanted the inaugural, but Jordan just showed up in the back. We're gonna be bringing him in just a minute, everybody. But basically, what's gonna happen next is we're gonna be going on another cruise. We're gonna be doing this one we're going on the Magic. We're going for Bella's birthday. It's actually 2 days after. So we're gonna be doing a lot more of travel vlogs, traveling, tips and tricks in the park, tips and tricks about traveling. Many of you don't know this, but we have a significant travel background. Prior to COVID, we traveled almost for a living. When we first started our company almost 17 years ago, or over 17, we actually traveled for a living. So it's not new to us. We do have experience in planning. I hear the older ships are better designed. Are better designed. Frank, that may be true. We're going to get to go on the Magic, which is where it started 25 years ago. So if you want 25th anniversary silver merch, what better boat to be on than the Magic? So we were event planners for a long time. It is something we're very comfortable with. I also still, to this day, now I haven't done it in a while, but I do still perform weddings. So we're going to be, exploring that aspect through concierge as well. So we're going to be doing a lot of different things. But when it comes to the travel aspect, a lot of people were like, well, do you know anything? It wouldn't appear that way because we live in Disney World. So,
You know nothing.
we don't know anything. But we used to travel for a living. As a matter of fact, we traveled for almost 3 years every day. So, and we'll get into that more as that comes up. But tonight is just kind of about introducing ourselves as travel agents, as the travel channel, what to expect. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Just making sure. So we're gonna have some fun on this channel. This one's gonna be the Saturday night show. We're gonna be asking you guys send in a question, a question for us, and we're gonna pick one for the week, and it'll be the question of the week. Anything that we see that's newsworthy that comes out of cruising, traveling, not just Disney news, but travel news that you need to be aware of. So we're going to be keeping you guys up to speed on that as well. And you guys know I love to build stuff, so I'll build a new platform for this and we'll have a good time.
Of course.
Jordan's going to be coming in every week. He's going to be telling us and keeping us up to date on Disney cruise news and things like that. And we're going to kind of sit back, talk, chill out, chat with Jordan, have some fun. Many of you don't know, but Jordan actually has a travel background as well. Hello, Brenda. There's that as well. He has and I'll let him explain what he's done in the past. But we're going to be doing that, and then we're also going to, like I said, tonight is at Florida Park Travel. It is Florida Park Explorers Travel. As a matter of fact, it looks a lot like this, Rob. Right where? I can't even show it. Hold on. Where are you? I got graphics. Graphics. Well, there's the logo.
Explorers Travel.
It's Florida Park Explorers Travel. As soon as I bring Jordan in, which I'm going to do in about 2 seconds, you're going to see the logo. So we are good to go. But let's bring Jordan in so that he can explain to you what Jordan does, what he's done in the past, some of that fun stuff. And then we're going to all kind of chat. Tonight is about the FPE travel that is coming up because we have lots of it. So without any more ados, humdingers, or the such, let's bring in Jordan. Let's do this. And let's do this. There he is. What's up, Jordan?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. I'm going to change this over so I can show everybody because that's the other format. And you can see the logo in between. Now, the reason that I have that there is if we wanted to share some video, which we're going to be doing. This will be our news screen. Or if Jordan tells me he sees a cruise story, we're going to be able to bring that up and bring that into that center square. But for this week, but Florida Park Explorers Travels, you see on screen, that is who and what we are. But welcome in, Jordan. Tell everybody a little bit about your travel background, because I don't think anybody, when you just literally took over the Wish cruise when everything went sideways, it was kind of like you jumped in, and I think everybody was like, "Wait, what?" So take it away. Take it away, Vern.
Yeah, so I got actually 6 years of travel background where I work for a travel agency up here in Ontario, Canada. All different cruise lines, different destinations, all that fun jazz. And because I've been on a fair amount of Disney cruises so far.
A fair amount.
Yeah, fair amount. We're in the double-digit category. The travel agent that we were working with was not producing what he was supposed to do. So I simply said, screw it. And I'm just going to jump in and help out and get details from everybody and just to make sure everything jived the way it was supposed to.
Okay. So taking us forward, you still love doing it because you were instrumental, as most people probably don't know, you were instrumental in the Disney Wish cruise because things went sideways almost immediately. And once we started all getting down to the soup and nuts of things, you really jumped in and took over. And I don't think everybody realizes how much that you actually did. So I think, first of all the cruisers, I know I do, I appreciated everything that you did. And the funny part is, you didn't even get paid for it. So you really have a passion for travel and for helping people, which, if there's Canadians in here, realize this is like my brother. I love to make fun of the fact that he is Canadian because he is so gracious. It is ridiculous. And so we really did. We appreciated you and everything that you did. But you even had trials on board as well, above and beyond what we all went through. So because no one else really went through it, kind of explain to everybody what happened in your part of the trip, because these things can happen.
Yeah, so when we first got access to our staterooms on the Friday when we got into the room, my son actually had stepped on a piece of glass that was the size of like your pinky fingernail, a seashell the size of about your pinky fingernail, and then a sliver of glass as well too. So thank God he didn't cut himself or injure himself in any which way, which was good. I called down to guest services. They jumped on it fairly quickly and even said they'll send, they offered to send medical up to come and see my son. So a lot of you guys don't know, I also have a background as well too as a public health nurse part-time on the weekends. So I'm very trained in that sort of stuff as well too. So yeah, deck manager came up later on that evening to kind of go over things, and he saw what was there and he wasn't very happy. We had a makeup stain that was left on our comforter as well too. My son decided to drop the elbow on the grab bar inside the shower and bruise the heck out of his arm.
By the way, that's not hard to do.
No, it's not. I was close a couple times. And then we had a pot light that that came out from the ceiling on the entryway. And then actually when I was at guest services talking to Dave in line, my son sent me a message and said, "Hey Dad, we got a plumbing leak inside of our room. The one of the drains in the one bathroom actually disconnected and there was water all over the place." So yeah, we had a couple of hurdles and whatnot, but at the end of the day, they acted on it fairly quickly to get things resolved. So I was very pleased in that sense, and I'm gonna go on Disney again. It's just the way it is.
Well, and I happen to agree. As perturbed as I am as to what happened, and because, in my opinion, of the lack of discussion and the lack of communication, I think was more frustrating when we were talking about this last week. I wasn't really sure what it was that I was upset about. I knew I was upset about the fact we didn't go to port. I knew it, but there was an underlying thing for me, and I think what it came down to was after being on the phone with DCL customer service and dealing with Disney so many times, what I eventually finally came out of my mouth was, ironically, Andy, he was 6'6", 8. So it was actually 10'6", 6'8", but anyway. I think what I was upset about was, and you and I kind of talked about it after it started to bubble out of me, was you and I were literally sitting on the Lido deck eating when the message came across from the captain and from the cruise director, which we barely heard. And it wasn't a navigator. It wasn't anywhere. There was no real communication. If you'd missed that message, you probably had no idea what was going on. And I think it was just the lack of communication. That was something I conveyed to Disney, also to DCL. And I got to be honest with you, they actually agreed. So that was part of it. And as you said, am I going to spite my daughter for Disney's mishap? No. And try explaining, and this was my argument to Disney, was there were 2,000 kids on board. Try explaining to a lot of them, of which were special needs, why they didn't get off the boat, that they didn't do anything wrong. There was a lot of that came out, and then Bella started saying to me, "Well, I thought we were going to Castaway. Like, what happened?" And even though Bella is, older and she's pretty smart, she was still upset. She'd still hurt her. It was still, those things. And as parents, we were going to do a cruise for her birthday anyway. I just didn't anticipate taking another Disney one so quick. But here we are. And
I think I'm planning that Disney cruise bug in you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. As I'm sitting here in a Wish shirt. Thanks for that, Jordan.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things that I had to take away from this cruise was, again, they're definitely the communication piece. And we have this thing that's called the Disney Navigator app, where there's a chat service where we could have got communications coming from guest services as a general message, and we didn't get it. right? I mean,
Right.
we set up where we could communicate with each other, no problem. Again, if you have an iPhone, you can actually communicate with each other for free without buying an internet package that way there as well too with iMessaging. So there's different ways of communicating that the ship could have done for us. But I think one of the biggest things that really kind of ticked me off was with everything happening, guest services, staff, and other crew members, aside from the higher up executives on board, had the same information as we did. And seeing people yelling and screaming and ready to jump over the counter at the guest services staff, like, that's just uncalled for, because it's out of their hand. There's not much that they can do about fixing the ship, or hey, let me give you, a better discount type thing. That unfortunately is out of their hands, where it has to come from the shoreside management team in Florida. So they can't even do anything more on the ship. This is coming right from shoreside in regards to even what we got, right? So those individuals that were yelling and screaming at the guest services staff, they should be ashamed of themselves for actually taking it to that level. That's just my opinion.
I couldn't agree with you more. When we went down to guest services, the first thing I said is, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" And she kind of looked at me, and I was there with Jill and Michael, and basically, I said to the girl at guest services, "I understand you have nothing to do with this. However, I need to be on record stating that I'm upset. I'm not going to get upset with her. She has nothing to do with it. She didn't break the boat. She does not the captain. She's behind the desk." And so I voiced my opinion. We were also upset about the merch, because merch was not available on the boat. To be honest with you, I'm not thrilled with Disney's response, but I have an advantage over everybody because I live here, and Celebration is the home of DCL Guest Services. I am going back there this week, and I know different people, so I'm going to be raising holy Cain about the merch, because we were unable to get it. We should have been able to get it. It shouldn't be that hard for them to send it to us. So there's a lot of those things, but you're 100% right. The people on the boat, they're there working their butts off trying to make it work. And if anybody thinks Jordan's exaggerating, guest services, you could typically walk up to a guest services counter anytime during the course of the day up until that point, and there was no line. The entire rest of the trip, there was a line 35 to 50 people deep. So the entire boat complained. Yeah. And I think that needs to be, stated is, it was that bad. But, not to beat that horse, but is one experience going to take me away from a company that I love, that I'm in every day, that I moved here to be with? No. And it can't be that. Erica, thank you for being in. We appreciate you. And Trish, we said the same. Yeah, but that's exactly it. And it's because you and Rob know. I mean, we all knew. I mean, Michael and Jill were standing with me. Jordan was just up there. Everybody did their part. You can't flip out on these people. They did nothing wrong. Can I get a little heated with the execs? Yeah, probably. Why? Because why not? But this time we're going to be on the 25th anniversary. We're going on the Silver. I can't speak. The Silver Seas 25th anniversary, and we're going on the boat that started it all. And I think that's awesome. When we were given the option of the two boats to go on, we chose Magic because it's a smaller boat. It just came out of dry dock. It has some new stuff. There's some really cool things going on. Welcome back, Carter. And
can't make boxes. It'll be too loud.
Yeah, that's way too loud. So I think that it's going to be pretty epic. So and by the way, for those of you who know, this one's going to be doing shopping on board, and get your orders in.
And it'll be a month into the celebration, so
yeah,
we should be okay.
We should be in good shape. But so Jordan, you and I have been talking a lot about
every day.
We've been talking a lot about some FPE meetups.
Mhm.
And I think I kind of wanted to hit it at 8 o'clock, and I'm right on target. So it tells me, hey, I'm not out of producer practice. Um, so yeah, Trish, 100%. Before I get to that, I'm going to address what Trish just put in. Let me put this up. Now, I spoke with Provost Park Pass numerous times. They were on the Wish with us. Excuse me. Chris and Amanda were fantastic. It was super, super informative. They had a line of people from what they said on the boat. I had about 45 people reach out to us. After I made a post, after I made the video, I've had emails, I've had tons of people, and it's the same complaint. Had to do with their kids. They felt like they could absorb it, but that the kids couldn't. And, yeah, Trish, and that's the thing is, it's an awesome show. Like, I wanted the inaugural, but I wasn't leaving without something. So, but that's what I did. There were a lot of people who were angry, and let me tell you something. I think it's warranted. To be perfectly honest with you, I think everybody should be a little disappointed.
Absolutely called for.
If they had simply done one thing would have mitigated all of this. Open the doors the second day in port and let us spend the day in Nassau. People would have had a do-over, and they could have gotten off the boat, went over to Atlantis, done some stuff, had some fun, gone to the beaches. It could have opened it up, and they just would have said, well, we couldn't get to Castaway, but at least we had 2 ports of call. And that's where the big breakdown came in. But anyway, I digress. So moving on to what tonight is actually was about FPE meetups. We're going to be doing more of them. Many of you, I put a poll up as soon as we got back on Instagram, and it was about who wants to go on the next one.
Hi, Christine.
Christine Hickman, welcome in. I had about 290 interactions with that story. There were over 50 of you that had said that you wanted to be a part of the next FPE meetup. I didn't even tell you what it was. So, it really was one of those things where the response was overwhelming. So Jordan and I started kind of talking about this almost immediately, I would say. Like, we just started talking about, because we want to give something for everyone. And the first time we did this, the land package, which was here in December last year, never got off the ground because it was too fast. And there was no way that could happen. Even the cruise happened a little quickly in both of our opinions. So basically, Jordan and I were talking about doing a non-Disney cruise, non-Disney, and let me just say this up front. I'm going to kind of speak the way I normally do. I try not to offend people. I'm just bad at it. The Disney cruises they're 5 times the expense of some of the other cruises. So what we wanted to do is get more affordable cruising so that we could also have more people join us. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. We want more FP. Jordan's sitting here with me right now. What was the most fun that we had on the boat?
The Lido deck, 11 o'clock at night at the round table.
We were literally like King Arthur's court. We were hanging out there to all
You
hours.
know where to find us.
We had a table, and that's where we were every night, and it was a blast. And to be honest with you, everything else might be a whirlwind, but I enjoyed being with my FPE family so much on that boat, and being able to spend time with you guys and get to know you in a different perspective. That I'm looking forward to pushing tables together on the next one, so that we all can kind of just hang out and have a blast together.
And
So
I got
that's
to scare
where-
Dave because I would sit on a chair that was leaning right up against the glass.
He hit the glass like 5 times. I'm like, when you go through it, just
Yeah,
give me enough notice that I get a viral
Well,
video.
Yeah.
I just wanted the viral video. I mean, if you're going to go overboard, at least let me record it.
Yeah. And I think one of the best things about that, though, too, Dave, was that we had no concept of time when we were up there.
No.
And that was the best thing. So I think it was like 1:30 in the morning, and it's like, oh,
Because Bella would want to go. Like, there was the one night Bella's like, yeah, no, I'm tired. So I brought her up. I brought her to the cabin and downstairs actually, and
I'm like, okay. And Dave's phone wasn't working on the ship. So
No, my phone's
I
still
was
not
like,
working.
He's up on the Lido deck. It's good.
So the best part about it though is we got to see something no one saw, and it was the night that they were doing the prep for the Shimmering Seas sail away party. We saw it before anybody. We couldn't record it because they freaked out.
Oh
but
gosh.
out came Tiana in her full dress, and remember how much it was blowing the wind?
It was blowing her dress right up.
Yeah, it was absolutely the craziest thing. And I'll take a cruise right here. Theo, I'm going to convince you to come on one of these. So we had but that was at like midnight, 12:30. They're out there practicing this, and the opening for the Wish video that I made came from the Lido deck at 1:00 in the morning when Patrick, Jordan, and I were leaving. I actually recorded that right off of the deck, so that was pretty cool. But so what we came up with was whether it's Royal or Princess, we're going to be staying. And it's nothing against Carnival. It's just, as a new agent, I've heard a lot of things. People said stay away from the Carnival cruises. It's not that they're not fun, but we're thinking families. We're not thinking power drinking. And so we're looking at what's that?
Jen wants to party drink.
No, I don't. Like, come on.
You had a couple of good choice beverages, though. I will say.
I did. They were good.
Yeah.
I might have had a couple
So did
the night
Yes,
that
I
I
did.
showed up at the 20s party. Whoops. Anyway, so Andy and everybody who's talking about land packages, we're going to get to that. So the first one is going to take place. That's going to be on the sea again. It'll be either in October or November. It'll be Royal Caribbean Princess. We will handle the bookings, both Jordan, myself, and Jen. This is all going to happen through FPE. We're going to block off 15 rooms to start, and whoever, if we need more, we can get more. But we're going to be looking into this, and it's going to be, we're trying to keep the price point between $250 and $400 per person. So that's something that we're
And that's
working
just
on.
for the cruise. You have to.
Right.
make sure
That's just the cruise. That's not counting port fees, which port fees and gratuities
They're
are not overly expensive. I have to be honest with you. But we're going to put that package together. The first poll of the night, if you can put it up, is how many people would be interested in an October, November.
Oh, make a choice.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you interested in that? Yes or no? So that we can get an idea as to. So Jen's going to be putting that
Do you
cruise.
want like the months and then?
No, because it's going to be in October or November. It's whatever I get the better deal on. And we're going to be deal oriented. We're going to be looking out for your pocketbook and a great itinerary. So just so I put that up there. But Jen's going to drop a poll in for a second for you guys to throw in there. Are you interested in being on a Royal or a Princess the months of October, November? Is this something that you guys would want to do? So that's coming up next. Jen's going to be doing that. How much does it cost for one person with everything all together? It depends upon the way it's usually booked, Andy, on double occupancy. And by the way, I have an experienced travel agent with me, so when I screw up, Jordan, correct me.
I'll fix it.
I kind of figured you would. What's up, AJ? See magic. We are talking about 2023. It will be this year because a lot of people, JT, said they felt like they missed out. So what we wanted to do was give everybody. I would love to try and pull off a Halloween one, but if Halloween doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then we get into November. But it would be nice to get together with everybody, have a little fun, get ready for the holidays if people want this. And that's why we're doing this. So the first one will be this year. It will be October or November. I'm literally going to be working with Jordan, probably during this week. If there's a want, we will do it. So let's see. That is always the problem. So yeah, and so it'll be for double occupancy. But Andy, if it's something that you're interested in, I definitely will send you over, the quote once we know what's what. So the second FPE meetup that Jordan and I were talking about, because Jordan pointed out a lot of really good things to me, was an Orlando meetup. What?
I'm saying hi to Amy.
Amy, hi. Let's see. We'd love to, but we already have a 12-day trip in September. Well, JT, no, we're going to see you then too. And anybody who's coming down, obviously, if you guys want to meet up with us, just let us know, and we'll do our very best to meet up with you guys. But Jordan, we were talking about you know, taking over like Pop Century or you know, the All Stars or whatever anybody wants, and basically doing that possibly the first week in December or somewhere around there. For the folks who do not want to go on cruises, we understand that. Or if you're coming down and you want to experience Christmas magic in Magic Kingdom or the Disney, you know, area. So far, Jordan, how am I doing?
You're doing good so far. I got no complaints.
That's a first.
Well, we are gonna be doing some. Jenny said about 2024. So
Yeah.
it'd be-
So we're getting to 2024, Jenny. We're actually doing an 18-month plan so that everybody can plan out whether they want to go short travel. Some of you may, like JT just put out there, some of you have travel booked already. If there's things that we can adjust to people who are coming down where the schedules overlap, we're willing to work with everybody because we want it to fit what you're doing. And even if it means that the meetups are smaller, that's okay, because let me tell you something. There were only a couple of us sitting around that table, but you want to know something? We had a blast. And again, it's one of the most memorable things that we did.
And you laughed at Patrick because he was wearing jogging pants and a sweater.
Patrick
so
made me feel cold.
funny. And he's from. I'm like, are you from Canada? Are you sure? Are
It
you sure?
was unbelievable. Patrick was sitting around in a snowsuit, and it was like, "Yo, dude, we're in the Bahamas. Like, you're making me cold." So, but and then we're looking at pushing. So in other words, the land meetup is going to be in December. Now I'm thinking first or second week. Just because I want Christmas decorations for the FPE pictures when we take them. I was really lax this time. We did not get a lot of group photos. I'm really bad with pictures. So I'm going to make sure that somebody else is in charge of that because I'm not.
Dave was enjoying his Malibu and pineapple juice.
There you go.
I was also impressed with the fact that because I truly expected to have a lot more problems with the height. If anybody has problems with height or seasickness, this guy experiences both, and I had neither. So I can tell you right now, it is, and we had rough seas coming back. I have videos and videos and videos of rolling 15 and 20-foot seas.
Yeah. They actually shut down the lower decks where you couldn't even go out on them because of the waves.
Yeah, so that's yep. Rob and Trish will be here November 4th to 11th, which is going to be awesome. We can't wait to see them too. So Running Warrior Sarah, that would be perfect as well, which we know about your itineraries. So again, that's going to be something that's going to be fun. We're gonna shoot for the first week of December, and we're going to start planning that out. We'll get some room blocks together on property. For those of you who say, "Hey, look, I want to stay off property," that's not an issue. Just contact us. We're going to get events put together that will be in the parks and out of the parks. So this way we can meet up at Springs. We can do some fun stuff, but it'll be FPE all the way. So that's another thing that we're going to be working on. Moving into 2024, we are going to be looking at what did we decide, Jordan? Was it April or May? Or was it April or May?
April.
April, May? Something like that.
Sure.
What Jordan said. Another non-Disney cruise. So that, again, if you want to plan a little farther out, and awesome, JT. I love to hear it. Another non-Disney cruise. Super affordable. Same kind of thing. Same price range. Same kind of itinerary. Same style boat. Princess, Royal Caribbean. We're going to set that up. We're going to block off 15 rooms for that again and see how we do. So this way we would be almost a year out right now to book that. So I'm hoping that makes it a little bit easier for everybody. And I've been listening to Jordan because he's Canadian. Anyway, so moving on, Jordan, talk to us about the 4th FPE meetup because this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah, so what Dave and I have been actually talking about is doing the Disney Treasure in the fall of 2024. So still waiting on the actual release date and the itinerary to come out, which should be coming out for all the cruise ships in the Disney fleet between probably in the next month to a month and a half. And we're still waiting to find out what itinerary the Treasure is going to take over. But the rumors out there are either A, it's going to take over the Disney Fantasy itinerary, which is the West and the East Coast Caribbean. Dave's got to get his dance on, which would be a 7-night Caribbean cruise, either which way you look at it, and probably going to be hitting Disney's new island as well, too, Lighthouse Point. So, and or they're going to flip the Wish and the Treasure, and the Treasure may do the Bahama cruises, and then the Wish hop on doing the Caribbean. So, still something we have to wait and find out to see how all that's going to unfold. But as soon as I know, I'll be reaching out to Dave, because I usually get the inside scoop ahead of time. So I'll be talking to Dave, and that way then we can then put it out to everybody to see who is interested in going on the Treasure.
We have a lot of the meetup people from last time already.
So, and that's the thing is if you notice, everybody who, if you're not from the last FP meetup on the Wish, everybody who's going can't wait to go on the Treasure was on the Wish. So that would be awesome. Yeah, and JT, that's kind of the thing is, it's a little bit shorter, but we want to do the inaugural on the Treasure. Like what we're trying to get, and what Jordan hasn't said because he doesn't want to back himself into a corner, I want to go on the first sailing. And notice Jordan just got uncomfortable. He's like, ah, crap. You know, it would be a lot of fun to try and get on the first, second, or third sailing. Something right in the first, right in the beginning, right when it's new, it's fun. What most people don't know is that the folks who are on the other boats transfer around, which we found out, I think it was on the second dinner or the third dinner, that our wait staff was actually from the Magic. So I thought that was pretty cool. They had transferred over, the contract transferred over, and they weren't sure if they were going back to the Magic or if they were staying on the Wish. So it is really cool to see how the contracts work on the cruise ships with the folks who are doing it. So you don't get somebody who's inexperienced; they know what they're doing, and so there's no learning curve. So I think that's pretty awesome. But Jordan, you know what Jordan's not telling you is he's been on, what is it, 130 Disney cruises?
Oh my gosh!
Somewhere high up there.
Yeah. So he's like one step away from being their highest level, and he was their highest level until they instituted a new one. And Disney was like, wow, there are people who actually went on 20 of these cruises? Jeez, we didn't think that would happen that fast. So they invented something for Jordan to strive for, which is Pearl. No, he's been on, what is it, 15 or 16?
15.
He's been on 15 Disney cruises by themselves.
Isn't Pearl, is Pearl 25?
Pearl's 25, so Jordan has 5 more years until he gets there.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. Is the ship very rocky on the water? Cookie, it's not that bad. To be perfectly honest with you, we were talking about this last night. One of the places I felt it the most was in the bathroom.
Yes.
And it was really funny because, like, it's almost like watching an airplane when she's trying to put on the makeup and it's going all over her face. It really felt like at times, like when you're going to the bathroom, you can feel it. But when I was in bed, the only time I ever felt it was when the boat shook, was when the engine broke.
Isn't that when you fell over, Dave?
No, that was when I jumped out of bed and thought we had an earthquake.
We're on the ocean.
We're on the ocean, and then I actually laughed and said, "Did we actually hit an iceberg?" So you know, Kate, there's nothing to be afraid of. To be honest with you,
it's designed.
You also get used to it pretty quickly. Now, I will tell you, on day one, right, Joe? On day one, when we left out of port, we didn't even know the boat was moving. Like,
that's because we were at the sail away party, Dave, and we were having a blast.
And you're like, oh, we're moving.
Well, all of a sudden, I looked off to the left, and I realized that the stuff wasn't where it was, and I was like, "Did I move or did it move?" And the boat moved, and that was kind of funny.
My favorite thing was when I was going to get Bella at Kids Club,
and one of the halls you walk down has huge like porthole windows, and you can actually sit in them. And we were moving at that point, and this girl's like, "Oh," she's like, "Is that a movie screen?" She's like, she goes, because it doesn't feel like we're moving. I'm like, "No, that's the ocean." She's like, "Oh," it's like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
See, when we were leaving though, Dave, like for the sail away party, I think you were so in tune with being on the jumbotron that you didn't pay attention to that fact that we were moving.
I was surprised there was a TV big enough to fit me.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh.
so basically, the way that the whole thing, went down was as we were leaving for the sail away, and we did all of that, and then I didn't feel it the first night at all. It was around 3 something in the morning. It was really, like I told everybody last week, all of a sudden the whole boat shook. We were sleeping. It was enough for me to wake up. And as I said last week, I jumped out of bed and thought there was an earthquake. And then I was like, well, where am I? And then I was like, I'm on a boat. I was like, did we hit an iceberg? And I started kind of laughing. And then I went outside on the deck and I realized that there was no noise. And that's when I realized that the only thing I heard was the wave slapping against the boat. And that
And us drifting.
Yeah, we were drifting at that point. So I knew what was going on, and I was like, all right, well, no one's... And so I sat out there for like 20 minutes because they kept saying unless it was an emergency, they would not make announcements inside the cabin. So I was waiting to hear if maybe they were going to make an announcement. Nothing ever came. So I was like, all right, well, maybe this is this is a part of it. What do I know? It's my first cruise. So I went back to bed, and then Jen got up and said, she goes, what was really weird, here you are expecting to be in port. We're not.
I'm expecting to see land because we were probably about an hour, probably a half hour before we were supposed to get into port. And I'm like, there's no land. I'm like, this is very odd. It was like 8:30. So I was like, something's not right.
Yeah, it was supremely odd. But then, No, it's kept in a dirty water tank. It's called gray water. So they actually take care of all of that, Andy. And then they process, recycle. They do a whole lot of like the boat that we were just on is one of the most carbonless footprint boats. Both,
It uses liquefied natural gas.
Yeah.
And everything else gets reprocessed and repurposed. So,
now, Dave, I just want to jump in real quick because Cookie mentioned something that she's worried about vertigo will set her off. So to kind of touch base, if you guys do have like seasickness and that sort of thing, the best thing we recommend is that, up here in Canada, we have Gravol. I know down in the States, there's Dramamine. So one of the recommendations too is actually taking that about 4 hours before you get on, or 2 to 4 hours before you get on board. And then take it again, like around the 5 o'clock marker type thing, whatever. Usually that will help out if you do have those difficulties or complications. Granny Smith apples help out as well too. You can put a patch behind your ears and even the bracelets as well too. I've been on them so many times now myself that I don't feel it whatsoever. But those are some things that might help to eliminate some of those potential side effects.
Tips and tricks from the master himself. And that's the thing is like, you do honestly, you kind of get used to it. You forget that it's going on. Bella had a couple of issues. But
Rodi's right, because Heather and her sister were using the band. They had the bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get the patches behind your ear. You could take the Dramamine. I took it before we get on the boat. I don't think I took it again. And I am prone to motion sickness.
And I've never taken Dramamine in my life.
So, like, I am prone to it. I had no issues whatsoever. Now, having said that, when we left port out of Nassau, the water was supremely calm. It was beautiful. Then we got out about 20 minutes or so. What is that about?
I don't know. Is your computer plugged in?
Yeah, you plugged it in.
Okay.
So then basically we started to hit some pretty rough water. I was sitting out on the balcony and I was watching the waves come by, and I'm not going to tell you I could feel the mist because, ocean air sprays and things like that, but that was about I could feel it. And keeping in mind, I'm on the seventh deck. I mean, I'm 70 feet in the air, so I kind of thought it was kind of interesting. But the seas were rougher. You could feel it a little bit when we went to dinner that night. When we were sitting at the table, now you couldn't see your water swaying or anything like that, but you could feel it. I mean, there was. I mean, even you said it when we were sitting at dinner that night. You felt it. We were rocking pretty decent, but it was not. It was not horrible, to be perfectly honest with you. I just don't think it was bad.
No, and I was up on deck 10, right at the back of the ship, and when we were out in the open waters, we could feel the water spraying even up to our deck as well too, like onto our balcony. So, but again, and that's the thing, is that you can't guarantee what kind of weather you're going to have when you're on the ship or what the water is going to be like. So for anyone that hasn't cruised before, or those who have, it's a risk that you're going to take whenever you're on board. So I know when we were back on the Disney Wish back in November, we found out when we got to the port that we were going to Cozumel, Mexico instead, because of Hurricane Nicole. So all the cruise lines actually have meteorologists that track all this stuff to help the ship go in the right direction to avoid everything. When we came back, though, to Florida from Cozumel, it was rough. We had a lot of severe thunderstorms as well, too. And they had put out announcements over the announcement system. Stay off your balconies. They closed down the pool decks as well too, because of how intense the storms actually were. But keep in mind, the ships also have stabilizers as well too. And actually, even saying what Jill said as well too, yeah, midship, you're not going to feel it as much as if you're in the forward or the aft. So those are things that can take into consideration when you are going on. Just to make it easier for yourself, Erica, yes, there are porthole screens where you can see the outside. You can also tap in right to the bridge view as well. So that's kind of a nice thing that you can actually see. But yeah, like, I'm in paradise on my veranda, and I think I've got Dave now converted over to that one. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I think one of the best things about the cruise as well too is that you're away from reality. You're out on the open water, and you leave everything behind, and you just have fun. Whether you go as a group of people, FPE meetups, and or if you just go as your own family. Regardless, you're going to have a great time. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, what he said, and it really is. It's an amazing experience. You have two opposite sides of the spectrum. You have somebody who's been on 15 Disney cruises, and you have somebody that's been on one. So we really can give you both perspectives, because anybody who has any apprehension, first of all, make no misunderstanding about it. If I thought it was horrible for anybody, I would be the first person to tell you. Why? Because it's not that important to me if you go on a cruise. It's more important to me that I hold to my integrity and sit there and go, oh my God, it was absolutely atrocious. It wasn't like that. As a matter of fact, even sitting in the theaters, you had no idea where you were. Half the time when you're on these cruise ships, you're clueless you're on a boat. I mean,
You're in a big hotel.
Can we have a Disneyland? We are going to be doing a Disneyland meetup probably next year, because we're going to be doing at least the scheduled plan is to do a West Coast tour at
It's
some
just a
point.
regular Disneyland. Land not meetup is what she said, not
Right.
specifically
Can we have-
Disneyland.
Oh, Jessica, we are doing a Land Disney meetup. It will be in December of this year. We may also try and schedule one for the summer of next year. Here's the best part. If you guys have suggestions, you are FPE. I got this wrong. There it is. Down there is an email. Drop us an email. Tell us what it is that you guys want. If we start seeing the same thing show up time and time again, we're going to book it. We're going to get you guys to where we go and we do those things. Does it cost more depending where? Yes, it does, Cookie, which I just found out after booking my last trip, the new trip. I've been on 2 Royal Caribbean. Yeah, Royal Caribbean is where where we're going to try and be. Our agency is a partner with Princess,
Princess.
so it might be Princess, might be Royal, it might be both. I want to do something different for my birthday next year. Andy, it's fantastic, and you'll have now. The best part is you're with people that you knew. I think one of the coolest things was I talked to all of the people who were coming on the cruise individually, and then to watch them interact with one another was really kind of cool. It was a highlight for me watching, Jordan and HM and Missy and Patrick and
Our
Jill and
banter in
Mike.
person.
Right? Like it was just funny. Like, and all of the busting that goes on in the chat became busting that went onto the boat, and it was just the camaraderie was unbelievable. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So it was a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed every second of it. I cannot wait to do it again. And like to what Rob and Trish just put in, or what Rob just put in, that's not out of the realm of possibility either. Everything is on the table. So, as we're going through this stuff and we start to look at some of these things, we're going to be planning, and to be perfectly honest with you, we're not done planning FPE trips. I think we're just going to keep planning them out farther to about the 2 to 2.5 year mark so that we can let you guys plan. What is it you want? If it fits your budget, if it fits your itinerary, I don't want to continuously just do short cruises. I want to spend some more time with you guys, have some fun. So one of the cruises that we do this year, probably the first one will be the shorter itinerary. The one that's a year out will probably be 5 to 7 days, so that we can kind of do that.
And
Seeing
just
their
a touch,
Kathleen.
sorry, Dave, just a touch as well too in regards to what Jill was even commenting on. So, and I'll say this is with any cruise line, but definitely with Disney. So, if you book your itinerary or book the cruise, I should say, when it first becomes available, you're going to get the better rate. So if it's something that you're humming and hawing about, this is why, this conversation is being brought up now. That way you can start thinking about it. So if it does pique that interest, then for sure. When it comes to Disney or any cruise line, there are different categories that you fall under. So if you're a first-time Disney cruiser, unfortunately, when it comes to booking a cruise with the itineraries, it'll be on the last available day before they go out to the general public. But for like myself, for example, I get to book it about 5 days before the general public does. So I'm going to get that room that I want as well as a better rate. Whereas if you wait until, yeah, I see that, Dave. But whereas if you wait until closer to the time frame itself, you'll be paying substantially more. And sometimes I've seen the cruises be as high as $1,500 to $2,000 more than a regular price.
Totally.
So definitely keep that in mind when you are wanting to book. So start thinking about to Dave and Jen to the email address. Make sure you specify how many people are going to be going, because that's going to be crucial when it comes time for the booking to be done in the background to make sure get the better rate and the best rate.
Right. And to everybody who's dropping it in, you guys want to be a part of this. This is why we did this. We want people to sit there. If you're sitting here right now and you're like, yeah, look, you've heard us say October or November, we're doing something in December on land, we're talking about April, May of next year. Andy, I got to be honest with you. I've been debating this exact question. There are ways to save money on both. It could be a shorter itinerary. It could be you're booking it a year and a half in advance. But if you do Disney World, there are things you can do, honestly, that will save you money. You can do the parks cheaper, in my opinion. In my opinion, you can do it depending upon the number of people, because that's also a factor. If there's 2 people and you're bringing a cooler into the park and and you keep it super cheap, you can beat the rules. Having said that, I think the better value, if you're not interested in the rides per se, and you're looking for a Disney experience while traveling and having fun, I think it's a cruise. That's just my opinion. So, but yeah, so what we're looking at right now, everybody, is October, November. Then we're going to be doing a December on land meetup here in Orlando. April or May will be another cruise, then potentially an FPE meetup in the summer here, which, that'll be a lot of nighttime activities because it is freaking hot during the day. And then obviously we're going to be looking at the treasure for fall of 2024, which should bring us around to, because we're thinking, Jordan keeps saying that the boat's not going to hit water till October. So that's looking like another October, November trip. Do you book from other cruise ports in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You can book Port Canaveral, Tampa, Miami. But we're probably going to be looking at that next meetup down in Orlando, 2024 December.
Jill just cut. She came in late, so she didn't hear
My
what we
favorite
said.
part of the cruise. Yeah, see, and that, Jill, that's actually what we were talking about. Was
Right before you came.
the most memorable thing of the trip was was meeting on deck 11 at 11, and kind of hanging out, and just, that was what we'd said earlier, was that was the most fun part of the trip, was everybody getting together. Nobody was rowdy. We were all just sitting there talking. We had a great time. It was really, really a lot of fun.
Well, everything closed, so you couldn't.
You couldn't do anything.
You couldn't.
So, summer meetups will be good. Holiday meetups, anything that we do. Yeah, dude, Rob's exactly right. Pirate Night was unbelievable. Rob and Trish had the costumes, dead on point. They were fantastic. And then Heather represented FPE like a boss. She killed it. She actually outdanced a pirate, which this is a good segue. Thursday night this week coming.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
I know.
Well, I was really crazy, so.
See, Theo, yes, I do know that. So this Thursday coming, it'll be on this channel and on Florida Park Explorers. We're going to be doing a dual stream. This Thursday coming up, we will be at the Pirates dinner here in Orlando. We've been invited to come out, the three of us, and we are being hosted by the Pirate Experience here in Orlando. We'll have a thumbnail up
Pirate
tomorrow.
dinner adventure.
What she said.
Just so I wanted that with the property.
So we're going to be hosted by them on Thursday night. So we're going to be live streaming that for you guys on both channels. And the reason we're doing that is to expose both channels, so that people who are normally in Florida Park Explorers will come over and subscribe to this channel, and vice versa. So we'll have a lot of fun with that Thursday night. Join us for Pirate Dinner, and potentially, what time are we going?
It's 7:30. The dinner. I think.
We may wind up at Springs afterwards. I can't imagine we won't. So, it's going to be a lot of fun between the two channels. We're going to be taking you guys on different experiences and be doing a ton of stuff. And, like I said, Jordan's going to get his things together so that every week he can bring us in something, because his insight on cruising is incredible. I mean, what you did for everybody was nothing short of amazing, and we all thank you.
It was my pleasure helping out, and I jumped in because of the circumstances that we were left in, and I didn't want to see anything missed. So, and even one of the biggest things too is that if you even have any sort of medical related things, you need to bring medical equipment on board. This is vital information for Disney Cruise Line to know, because they can add a note, and then they pass that information onto the actual ship itself to ensure that, for example, if you have a CPAP machine, they will provide distilled water, right, to make sure you have that. If you like anything that's possible, medications that need to be at a certain temperature, they will make sure they accommodate that stuff. But this is information that needs to be brought to their attention. And because I did bring this forward to them on a couple of reservations, everything was set up in motion for those individuals that it would have affected. Same thing with transportation. Transportation is a big thing, especially if you're staying at a Disney resort, because, pardon me, you can actually get shuttled right from your Disney resort right down to Port Canaveral. Yes, there is a cost associated to it, but you need to make sure that that you get it, and it's flawless. It's one of the easiest things in the world. and you just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride down there. And this is an inside scoop. If you use the DCL transportation service, typically you're guaranteed to get on before those who are driving in themselves, as a rule of thumb. So because they're picking you up right from your resort, it's DCL Resort, obviously that partnership, bang, they're going to get you there as fast as they possibly can to make sure that they get you on board.
These are the kind of things, everybody, that we're going to be going over on every Saturday night. We're going to kind of bring it up and say, like, bring your questions. This is what we're going to want to be doing, is answering it through Travel Talk. With that, I will tell you this. I just looked down at the poll. 32 people have voted out of 39. And basically it showed about 2/3 of you said yes. 2/3 of you said yes to going in October, November.
We'll have to do this on FP also.
Yeah, without a doubt. But what we're looking at is out of 32 people, that's 24 people who want to go on a cruise and want to experience this. This is what I was seeing on Instagram, was that a lot of people were saying, hey, you know what? We want to go too. We want to go have fun. And so with 24 people in the chat, that theoretically could relate out to being almost 50 people if there aren't couples in the chat that are talking.
I just posted it.
And Jen just posted it. So the poll's over and closed. So that gives us a really good idea, because if it was 10% that said yes, we wouldn't be doing it. Anything over 50, we were willing to do. And that's kind of the point. We'd be able to book them for sure, Jenna. Anything that's travel related, and this is what
full-fledged travel agents.
Yeah, we're not just Disney travel agents. You want to go anywhere, we can book anything anywhere. We're going to be specializing in Disney World resorts, Walt Disney World parks, resorts. Why? We know it better than anybody. We're the name in the park that you can trust. We're here to serve you guys, and that's the point. When it comes to cruising, we are going to try to specialize in Disney, Royal, Princess. We are going to be booking Carnival for those of you who want to go on it. It's with Bella, it changes the rules for us. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm not willing to go jump on a Carnival. I even said to Jordan the other day, I want that aft deck that he has, so that I could just sit out there and get room service all day. And that would be a vacation to me. I would just sleep on the back deck.
And have beverages brought to our room.
Without it, there's no doubt. And if Jordan actually can make it happen on the Treasure, where he and I get the aft room side by side, we're going to open up the deck, because there's a door there, and we're going to throw a huge party in our cabins, so that this way everybody can go out on the back of the deck, out on the back of the boat for a sunset evening when we're having some fun. And we'll have that, we'll make sure that DCL does something for us. So be a lot of fun.
Kate, just to answer your question, you can definitely bring all your medication with you. What I would say is that if it's something that you need to have with you on a regular basis, put it inside your carry-on bag.
Yes.
Bring it with you. That's the best thing to do, because luggage typically doesn't get delivered, until maybe starting at around 2:30 up to even up to 6 o'clock sometimes, depending. So I would say definitely bring all your medication with you in your carry-on bag, and that way you have that covered.
And to Jordan's point, I carried my medicine on me. Now, some of it went on the boat, but I brought some of it with me, especially your inhaler. I had my inhaler in my backpack on me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I don't go anywhere without it. Carry-on bag is a must. Yes, Aaron, 100%. HM, if I can get on the next one.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, Heather. That's possibility.
See, there's our pirate killer right there. HM absolutely destroyed that pirate. So if we can get all three of those, we'll host a rager on the back of the boat and drive everybody nuts. We'll have a blast. And that's the point, is you see the excitement, everybody. This is what we wanted to generate off the first cruise, and we accomplished that goal. So many people got to see what it was like, and that it's not always just shopping and parks and this and that. It's about letting your hair down, having some fun with people we genuinely care about. And it was a lot of fun. Wait till the memories we make on the next one. It's going to be absolutely epic. It's really going to be a lot of fun. So do they grab this? They do grab your hotels from the suitcase. Let's try that again.
Yes.
Dave tries to speak.
That's a big move, Dave.
Hey, Dave tries to speak. Take two. So I'm going to let Jordan do that because Jordan knows it better than anybody.
So, Andy, if you are staying at a Disney resort,
I can't speak.
you have to have your luggage ready by 7 a.m. And bell services from your resort will come and pick it up from you. Now, the night before, you'll have something that's left on your door or inside your stateroom. This time it was left actually inside of our stateroom at Pop Century. And, they want you to call down to bell services to let them know how many bags that you're going to have. And that way they can pick those up for you first thing in the morning. They make sure, so the luggage actually gets shipped to the boat before we actually get picked up. So it's already en route and it's already there ready to go before we actually get on. So, and then when you go to get off the boat itself, what happens is that 10:30 is their cutoff time. But you can still put your luggage out after that. They will come and pick it up. They will leave these special little tags inside your stateroom where you have to write information on it. And then inside the terminal, once you do get off, there are different characters that are there, like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Pluto, Daisy. And that's where your luggage will be found. You go grab it. You go through Homeland Security when you come back. And then after that, you walk out the terminal, whether you're taking Disney transportation back to a resort, to the airport, whatever. They will make sure you grab your luggage, take it on, they'll load it on the bus for you, and then they'll take it off when you get to your resort and or to the airport.
So that's actually the point is, HM's chiming in right here down at the bottom. She's got, even with all the problems that we had a blast as a community. And that was kind of the thing is, I wondered this, what would it have been like if each one of us had been individually on that boat? Would it have been less manageable? Would it have been more irritating? We all had each other to kind of lean on and sit there and talk to. And I think, honestly, that helped a lot. I think everybody you had someone you could vent to, you could talk to. We helped pass the time. I mean, when we were sitting there on the second night in port and we were all sitting there going, well, I guess we're not leaving, because we had no information. Turns out I was 100% wrong, which who knew? So, it was really just a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to the next one. Obviously, we're going in 3 weeks again. We're going to provide a lot of live streaming and vlogging. An FPE up, production note. We are trying to get that backpack unit here this week. If it happens, one of the things that I asked them today was, could I stream from open water? So they're checking into that and getting back to me, because that would mean we'd be able to live stream in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, which would be freaking awesome.
Not to buy their Wi-Fi package.
So I'm really looking forward to their answer. He goes, I would imagine if there's Wi-Fi in their cell service, you should be able to stream. And I was like, okay, let's find out. So that would make it a little bit more epic. And we are working on the lagging issues. This should solve that problem. So we hope.
And I do have to say, Dave, that HM's comment that she put in there, maybe the party would have been better if she wasn't there next time. I don't know, but
what?
Yeah, did you not see the comment that she put in there?
Oh
wow!
I don't know about that, HM. You're talking about my boatmate. Like, we got in a lot of trouble, you and I.
We did. I'm surprised that we didn't get in trouble by the Disney police.
Yeah.
Although we wouldn't have, because I know too many people on the ship.
I was gonna say, like, you were macking on everybody, so everybody knew Jordan. So that's why we got on the Jumbotron, just so everybody knows. Jordan walked over and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Remember me from the last one? Come on over. Let me introduce you to a great group of people." Next thing I know, I'm on Jumbotron. So
one of the assistant cruise directors, he was also the pirate that night. He was actually dancing behind us during the thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
So and I mean, that's the fun stuff. Everybody is. We had a great time. We want to make sure that you guys can pick what's best for you. And I think anybody in this chat will tell you, You didn't hear the word no come out of our mouth.
JT.
Wait. hold on.
That's great, GT.
So FPE's first cruise made national news.
so crying.
You are 1,000% right.
Well, because people are sending me articles like, do you know you have? I'm like, yeah.
We were getting more information
We were
from
getting more
stateside
information. Yeah.
than we
Like,
were
it
on the
was
boat,
so
which
funny.
was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
crying.
but the whole thing, everybody, is we want you guys to choose what works for you. I think that everybody who is on that boat would say to you, we never said no. If people wanted us to be places, that's where we were. This was about being with you guys. I think that was, the most epic part. Even when we got off in Nassau, it was like this motley crew of going down, through the Bahamas, walking down to the no beach access. It was just kind of
Senor Frog, where we got to hear some cool beats.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
so. But it was really funny. Let's see, Dave and I had the answer exactly, Michael. And that's the thing is we had a great time. Like the dinners were epic. We all sat there. We conversed until we were the last ones out of every single night. We were the last ones to leave the dining room.
There was 13 of us.
Are Disney cruises worth the increased price compared to other cruise lines? Captain Tuttle, it is a personal opinion. I will start off with the obvious answer of yes.
You've only been on it.
But it doesn't matter. I'm totally biased because I'm there for the Disney aspect. Now, let me say this let me put this question up so I don't forget it. One of the things that I'll tell you, Captain Tuttle, is we're not huge drinkers. That doesn't mean we're not going to have a cocktail or two or whatever during the course of a trip. But I don't need power drinking packages. I don't need to sit there and see if I could get a drink per hour. That's not what I was there for. I was there to be with my immediate family, my FPE family, and to have fun. There was always something to keep you busy. If you're a Disney freak, there's characters to meet. There's things to do. The kids club is amazing for the kids. Everything is themed Disney. You are constantly immersed in Disney, Disney, Disney. I did not get to experience the full trip. So it's a hard thing for me to say because I also have never been on another boat. I've never done anything else. But having said that, I got a full-fledged Disney experience. And that's what I thought I was paying for.
And then once you go to Castaway this time, you'll actually get it.
Yes.
Yes.
Ask me in a month,
Yes.
and I'll give you a better answer for that. But it's an incredible experience. I think the cast members, crew members, did everything in their power to make the experience magical, and that's what.
And Captain Tuttle, even to answer your question from my point of view, well, because I've been on just a few, I definitely have no issue myself paying the extra, like the increased price, only because the level of service I know I'm going to get is very, from my experience, has been top notch. Whether it's coming from someone at guest services, whether it's going through the terminal when you first get there, whether it's speaking to the cruise director, whether it's speaking to any of the event staff, your servers, your host or your hostess, or even in the shops.
Oh, wow.
So these are things that I take as this personal experience that I get to have these encounters with the crew that I can't put a price tag on because of how fantastic they are. So
And yeah, for sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, don't be sorry. Shake and bake. You're going to say something there.
Oh no, Jordan's absolutely right. It's like bringing that Disney experience on the ship. Like cast members, the crew members rather, they want to talk to you like when you're in the parks and the cast members are talking to you. It was I haven't the last cruise I was on was a Carnival cruise. 19 years ago, between 19 and 20 years ago, and I can tell you, even though yes, it was years ago, the level of service on a Disney ship is well worth it. Like you're treated very well, and they treated Bella amazing, even from cutting her meat, like when she was having issues with her steak. So
yeah, so that's actually a rule as well too. So if you do go as a family and you have kiddos, parents are not allowed to cut their kids' meat or any of the food. If it requires that, they will jump in right away and they will actually cut it for you, because you're there to have fun as a family, to enjoy that experience that you're going to get. So sit back, relax, let them take care of you, and enjoy it.
And to answer Kate's question, any pool your child goes in with a diaper requires a swimmy. Just having kids for years and little ones, yeah, they can go in with a diaper, but they're going to require swimmy or the special swimmy pull-ups. So whatever, but they're going to have to wear something.
Oh, and yeah, meeting the characters is a lot easier. Just get there a little bit earlier and jump on the line, and you're good to go. We were on a line. We thought it was a character. Like, no, this is for bingo. I'm like, that's the line. There's only 3 people ahead of us. I'm like, yes.
And the only line I cared about was for food. So
Which the line wasn't long for that.
no, we didn't even wait for
Mickey's barbecue, Dave.
The
Mickey's barbecue.
First of all,
The
Jordan and I
barbecue.
never waited in line. We would walk up and they'd be like, "Oh no, it's them." And even the girl that was back there, she was hysterical because she's like, "Oh, you're the guy who likes the pickles," and I was like, and Jordan goes, "How many times have you been here?" I go, "Every time I walk by."
That's
I'm
true.
I'm pretty sure I never. As a matter of fact, my favorite story is I left Jordan's room. I couldn't get a cup of coffee. I walk along the 11th deck to head back to my cabin, where I grabbed 2 ribs. I ate those in line while waiting for 2 chicken fingers. I ate those in line while waiting for a cupcake, a cone of ice cream that I ate on the way all the way to my room. It is not calorie friendly, the boats. I will tell you that. So.
You're gonna get your
Kate, no, I did not. I didn't get my brisket from Dave, but yes, I did get some brisket at Mickey's barbecue.
from Bucky.
All you have to do is go to Polite Pig. I kept telling you. You guys were in Springs. I said, you want to go to Polite Pig? You're like, no, we're going to this other place. Okay, fine. But Polite Pig's where I go.
We went to
ask,
Wolfgang Puck's.
Wolfgang Puck has a hamburger. You can get hamburgers anywhere. Brisket comes from Polite Pig. I keep trying to tell you people this. Okay, and unfortunately, we got off the boat. Bella was a little worse for wear that Monday night. We were not able to meet up with Kathleen and Mike, which was unfortunate because we were supposed to go to Polite Pig that night too. I'd have been full of barbecue. But so what other places have we enjoyed our travels? By the way, Disney Joe, I did see your Norwegian cruise. That's someone else that we're going to be. It's going to take us a while to get through all the different cruise boats. But that is also on our list because I've heard excellent things about Norwegian as well. We have traveled literally all over, both before we were married and since. I have been literally all over the country. I used to actually fly for a living when I used to travel, when I used to train salespeople. So that was something that I actually did, and it was one of the reasons I don't fly. And then when it comes to where else we've been, there's literally probably not 1 square inch of Florida we don't know intimately. We handled the marketing for the Southeast region, and then as we were building our company, we expanded. We were literally all over the place. So we had 23 contracts countrywide. We had 32 contracts coming in. So we were traveling all over the place, and that was actually the next goal pre-COVID. So we had a great time. And Trish, Marceline Market was fantastic.
Yeah, fabulous.
It was, the greatest thing in the world was Jordan trying to direct me to where to go. I think it was on the live stream on the first day. I had no idea.
To go get coffee.
Yeah, that was the day I was trying to.
Yeah.
That was the first time I tried to get coffee.
And then I
at that
discovered
place.
the lunch, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, it was.
it's better.
Oh yeah, Michael, that was not cool. You didn't bring ribs. So but yeah, Michael and Jill, we all met up when they first got in. We met up, and they took us to Play Pig. So you might find a
See
common
a
theme.
pattern with my husband.
You
Yes.
might see a theme, and I think Michael, Jill, we had a blast the first night. It was a lot of fun. But that was the whole idea, was to break bread with everybody, have a great time, and do those things together, and really just solidify this community, which 40 people have been sitting in here for an hour and a half while we've been doing this. So, yeah. But, all good things have to come to an end, and we didn't want to run into fireworks. Fireworks start in 2 minutes, so because we know at that point it is what
We'll
it
go
is.
watch fireworks.
But look, here's what next Saturday. If you guys want some homework, we're going to be working on what will be our first of the cruises because we had an overwhelming response. We heard you. We're going to get it booked and ready so that you guys can let us know. Next Saturday, Jordan will go over what we're going to need, which is names, addresses, exactly as they appear, how many people, those type of things. We'll start getting going on that. I will work this week on getting that booked, the reservation set so that we can block some rooms off. But also, the email down below, fpentravel@gmail.com. Do me a favor. I want to start highlighting you because today was about us explaining what we're doing. From here on out, it's going to be answering your questions. A lot of you have travel questions. You've never done this. You've never done that. What do we do about this? What do we do about that? If you send them in, you may not make it to next Saturday. It might be the following Saturday. I may have to do research. I would love to tell you I know everything. As a matter of fact, I tell my wife all the time I know everything. But it's not true. Don't let her hear it.
It was a little late on that.
Yeah, it was a touch late. Jill, basically, we just went over why we became travel agents and what the next FPE meetups will be, which, again, just to recap, October, November of this year on the sea. It will not be a Disney cruise. It will be either Royal and Princess or something like that. Then we're going to do an FPE meetup here in Orlando, December, first week, more than likely. And then we have another cruise that we're going to be doing a little longer, 5 to 7 day, April, May of next year, followed by probably a meetup during the summer here in Orlando again. Then the Treasure. And we're going to start planning them further out because that almost takes us, if the Treasure is October, November, to another FPE meetup Christmas time. So if we can start getting them at Christmas and in summer, that would be great. And then if we offset cruising in between, I think that's going to be a really good setup for the people who want to, you guys will kind of get to know our schedule. And in 1 second, you're going to hear a boom. Unless we should have heard it already. It's 9:01.
Yeah, and Dave, just to answer a question that Jill had had earlier. So the Disney Treasure itinerary has not yet been released. Nor have the itineraries for Disney Cruise Line in general from October, November, and December of 2024. So that should be coming out middle of June to the end of June is when that will be made public.
That's great.
And then once they make it public, typically it's about a week after is when the cruises can start being booked. So we will find out more as that comes about, but I will be in touch with Dave and Jen to let them know.
Theo, dude, that was fantastic. And, I love each one of you for a different reason, but you never know when Theo's going to throw one of these zingers, and it's awesome. Cookie, best thing I can tell you to do, reach out to us at fpentravels@gmail.com. Set up a video conference with us. I had 2 video conferences today with people who are in the chat right now. We worked out their vacations. We planned their adventures. Marguerite, we're going to be moving. We're going to be setting up a time for you as well. A couple others that have reached out. Let's set up some video conferencing so that we can get that done. There's a bunch of you in here. We have not forgotten about you, so I'm trying to stay in touch with you via email. But I would like to do video chats. It helps me go through this very quickly with you guys so that we can also kind of just chit-chat and have some fun. But Cookie, reach out to me. We'll set something up. And we'll bring you into a StreamYard like this, and it's offline, and we sit there and we chat. Disney Baker is in the house, everybody. Welcome in, Disney Baker. It is good to see you. One of the things before we close tonight, everybody, again, make sure that you're sending us in emails for questions. If there's things you want us to go over topic-wise, any of those things, we'll research it for you. You don't have to do that. That's what we're here for as travel agents. But secondly, support the guy who's on screen with us right now. Jordan is... family, he's friends, he's everything, he's FPE, he's done everything in the world to help, and he gives without thought. Go over to his channel, please subscribe to him. It's Jordan's Disney Adventures. check out his logo. He's got a really cool logo. And check out what he's doing over there. Support him. And then if you have questions, you can also always ask Jordan. Jordan's there to help. And that's basically it. But Jordan, anything you want to add to wrap this up with?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I can say is that actually one word, fun, is what it is. I can't tell you how much I was actually looking forward to this FPE meetup, both at Magic Kingdom the night before when we got to see the fireworks,
That was epic.
as well as going on the cruise. So that's the only thing I could say. It was absolutely fun. And I think one of the biggest things I remember the most was coming up and meeting you guys at Magic Kingdom, and Bella came running to give me a hug. I will never forget that moment, because that was, like I said, that was a priceless moment. And having a family like that you can enjoy it with, again, call your family, friends, and do something amazing like this. That's where the fun starts.
So you mentioned your most memorable part of that night. My most memorable part of that night was being on the People Mover
In the monsoon.
in a monsoon of a micro. There was literally a microburst happened.
There were 2 microbursts.
Yeah, while we were on People Mover. If you guys did not see that, go back to that stream
Epic live stream.
and take a look at this. This was something else. I mean, we were literally trapped on the People Mover while it's monsooning, pouring, and Missy went ahead and covered Bella in her poncho. Missy, thank you for that. You probably stopped the kid from getting pneumonia. But it was literally, that was so much fun. I cannot even begin to tell you. And Bella does know, the people who interact with Bella, Jordan, Jill, Trish, HM, Kathleen, and there's so many more of you that she's interacted with. You see the result. And this is a kid who's got Asperger's, who literally, she's like, I know you. And it's a lot of fun, because as awesome as it was for you, Jordan, as her parents, to see her breaking out and doing these things, it's a very, very moving moment for us as well. So it's great to see our Disney family grow. It's great to watch how this happens, and we thank all of you.
I think my favorite was because Michelle and Mike Nichols were with us that night. Mike put the little umbrella up over his head,
And it
almost blew away.
Because I was in the
like,
car with
Jordan.
them.
I showed Jordan the video. We were dying. We were literally dying. And Patrick's bundling up. I was like, "This is fantastic."
I mean, I was with Mike and Michelle in the last car so that I could stream everybody else. It is hilarious to watch. So if you guys didn't see that, go back and take a look. It was the night before we went on the Wish. We were all in there, and it was freaking hilarious.
It was so funny.
It was a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of experiences with all of you, tracing back to when Rob and Trish came back a couple of months ago. It was in February. It was so much fun with them. And Mike and Jill coming in, we had fun with them. And Jordan was here after. And we just had all these experiences. It was hysterical. There's Michelle. Someone should have fired the meteorologist that night. So Michelle and I are sitting there. And Mike's sitting across from Michelle. And I'm telling you right now,
funny.
it was so bad. It was so bad.
Funny.
It was so not fair. And it was so cold.
Yeah, but, and you kept on blaming me for the People Mover breaking down.
It was your fault. Actually, it was Jonathan's.
Yeah, it's always Jonathan's fault.
Jonathan right now is going, Dave called my name, what? It's always Jonathan's fault.
Sam has like a million people in the chat right now.
I'm sure they do.
There.
Speaking of which, our partner channel, Samwell B12, is exploding as we speak. Sam has gone from 6,000 to over 7,100 subscribers in a very, very short amount of time. If you're a hockey fan, or if you just want to support an incredible content creator, please also go over and give Sam some love. We could all go over there and rate his chat and be like, FPE said to come over. But Sam is an incredible, incredible content creator. There are so many people that come in and out of this chat that we love to support. So we thank you guys literally for everything. We will see you guys next Saturday. More of this, but it'll be cut down to about an hour. We're going to try and keep the show to about an hour. Can go up to an hour and a half, thereabouts. Whatever you guys want, you get. You guys know how this goes. And we're going to constantly be bombarding you guys with travel information so that you guys can interact with us. I think a lot of the travel shows are wrong by putting out videos. If we put out a video, we're going to do it as a live stream anyway so that we can answer your questions. We want to be there for you to answer questions when you have them. So we're really looking forward to it. But other than that, everybody, yeah, Joe, go support him. He's incredible. He's one of the best broadcast, and it's not because he's one of my friends and he's a partner
he's
channel.
good.
He's that good. I've actually sat there and listened to him, and it's over hockey games I could care less about. It's just because his enthusiasm, his excitement, and his ability to do it, he is incredible.
Like last night when the Leafs unfortunately lost. Like that
Wasn't
was just unreal with his reactions.
He was on
Yeah.
point. I was there when Florida scored the goal in overtime. I was gonna rub it in, but his chat was moving so fast he never would have saw it. But anyway, I digress. So for all the cruisers, we want to say one more time, thank you guys. We appreciate everything that you guys did for the cruise to come on it. We overcame a lot of obstacles. Apparently, we're still overcoming some of them. And for those of you that are going through that, we hope that you guys get through it quickly. And then for us, we will be on Monday. Jen will be back.
I'll be at the resorts.
Jen's going to do the resorts on Monday. We've got Epcot. We have Character Warehouse, Disney Springs, Pirate Night, all of those things.
FP Elite members meeting.
An
So,
elite members meeting coming up this Wednesday for you elites that are out there
on Florida Park.
on Florida Park Explorers. This channel will also be getting one. We're going to be changing up some of the things on here pretty quickly. To all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Guys do. You're welcome. You do so much, that you don't get credit for. This is the one day where we got to make sure that we say thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. We hope that tomorrow you have a relaxing, enjoyable day, and that your family treats you the way that you should be, which is like the queens and moms that you are. So we appreciate you guys.
Hey Dave, I have an idea.
What?
Maybe some of the FPE should take their moms to an FPE meetup. I think that would be a fabulous Mother's Day gift.
Like when the hockey players play with.
So does that mean I'm not invited?
No, you can come too.
Bring mom.
My mom's actually going to be going on one of the
I
meetups.
know.
So for those of you who don't think that that's not an absolutely great idea, because it is, my mother's going to be joining us on one of the FPE meetups. So that'll be a lot of fun. It'll be on
Like
one
the
of the
royal or
cruises.
the princess.
Yeah,
one.
she's going to be joining us on that. She's not a fan of Disney. So, shh.
So we got her all Disney stuff for Mother's
Yeah, for Mother's Day, we bought her nothing but Disney stuff. I'm a good kid. So, but until then, everybody, like I said, next week, send us in some questions that you may have. Anything else, please reach out to us. If you're looking or thinking about booking in the area or any area, if you're looking to book vacation, reach out to us, please. We are a small business. We love when small businesses support us. Nope. Let's try that again. We love when people support small business. We support small business, so we really, truly appreciate when people reach out to us. We have helped a bunch of you already or begun the process. We're looking forward to finishing it. Anything else?
No, thank you for all the wishes, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Super, super awesome. Jordan?
I'm groovy so far. I'm looking forward
Anything
to
else?
Saturday with where the questions may pop up, and let's get some people booking some trips.
That's it, everybody. And like I said, Jordan's going to be working with us on these things.
So is this a working title? Are we gonna find a title for the show, or
I don't
well,
know.
we can do a poll on?
It pretty much tells everybody what we're doing,
That's
which is
true.
travel talk. If we do anything else on the channel, maybe we'll change it. But
Okay,
what are we talking about? Travel.
travel talk.
Travel talk. Travel talk.
Travel talk.
It's
Not
travel
your
talk.
coffee talk.
You got to get your coffee. This way you sit there on the turnpike, get your coffee.
All right.
Although
With
next
that-
Saturday, though, Dave, you should be wearing your 1923 getup.
I can do that. Matter of fact, my hat's right there.
I got things on it. I'm not.
We're
moving
a
right
little
now.
baried after Character Warehouse.
Yeah,
so-
I have to. I'm almost. Yeah.
FPE talks travel. See, Erica's got the same thing. It's all good. As long as we come together and we sit here and we chat, I don't care what we call it, everybody. As long as we get to answer your questions, we get to do the things that help you travel better and have some fun doing this. And then this channel will be back live this week as well. We're going to do a Magic Kingdom Day. We're going to do Pirates, and then we'll be back Saturday. So we got a lot going on, everybody. Make sure notification bells are on. You're paying attention to us on Instagram. Make sure you've hit that like and subscribe button. And other than that, with that, Jordan, I appreciate you coming in. Jordan will have Cruising Corner with Jordan, or I don't know, we'll come up with something for you. Jordan's Disney Adventure Corner.
That actually has a good ring to it. I actually like it.
It's not bad. It's a working title. With that, everybody, thank you so much. And how do we
Nothing.
Well, how do we end every stream?
Have a magical night.
No, we can't do that. That's on the other
All
channel.
right. Come sail away with us.
Come sail away. Come. No, wait. We're not just cruising.
I know.
We need to come up with an ending.
Dave, I gotta send you a sound that you can do at the end of the stream.
Wormhole.
Sherpa packs? I don't know.
It's actually better than that, but I'll send it to you.
I appreciate that.
Good night, everybody.
Good night from the Lido deck. Take care, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Good night, everybody.